What if I told you a man is shot for trying to help, trying to save a gunshot victim? He's shot by the police. Put him up full mask. Talk about irony and sad. Cops shoot an unarmed black man who was helping a gunshot victim, according to Atlanta Black Star, August 25th, 2023. Demetrize Carter. Mr. Carter was doing nothing more than attending a high school football game between Dale City High School and Choctaw High School when a fight broke out in the stands between students. Gunshots were fired. A 16-year-old black child named Corday Carter, not related to Mr. Carter, not related to Mr. Demetrize Carter, was killed in that shooting. A 15-year-old black child named Devlin Hamilton was arrested a month later, spending 4 months in jail on murder charges before the charges were dismissed in January 2024 after a witness recanted their statements. Since then, no arrests have been made. So back to Corday Carter's mother. Her name is Jania Wright. The lawsuit describes a scenario where Mr. Demetrize Carter was shot as he tried to help her son. She said her son was confronted by 3 to 4 male juveniles, and the teens were arguing, and one of the teens pulled out a gun and shot her son in the groin. Her son ran behind a food vendor and began yelling for help, prompting Mr. Carter, Demetrize Carter, to approach him to render aid. What do you have so far? You have a concerned human being. That's what you have. You have an individual who's willing to run toward gunshots because a child is crying for help. You have a good human being. You have a good person, a good man. As Demetrize was approaching Corday, 2 DCPD officers arrived at the scene with their guns drawn and began yelling at Demetrize. Put his hands up in the air and informed the officers he was not involved in the shooting and was simply attempting to help the young Corday. Before Demetrize was able to get to the child, one of the DCPD cops, Shawn Hogue, Officer Hogue, fired his gun at Mr. Carter, striking Mr. Carter in the chest. After shooting Demetrize, Officer Hogue and the other DCPD officers did not stop to render aid, but continued on their way looking for the shooters. So they shoot the Good Samaritan. They don't render aid to him. They bypass the child. They don't render aid to the child. They have literally created a worse scenario coming to the scene than it was prior to them arriving. So from the beginning, police refused to release the body cam. I bet they didn't want to release that body cam. So they didn't want to release the body camera footage from the shooting, claiming the incident was still under investigation. However, Hogue was cleared of wrongdoing by the Oklahoma County Grand Jury April 2024. We should have closed the case, but neither the Dale City Police Department nor the Oklahoma County District Attorney has released videos, which would probably show us whether Mr. Demetrize Carter had his hands in the air or if he had something in his hands resembling a gun. Hogue's attorney, Gary James, told News 9 that Mr. Carter was shot because, quote, he didn't comply, end quote. A few months later, after his client was cleared of any wrongdoing, James told local media that the grand jury viewed the video and determined Demetrize Carter probably was holding a gun. Quote, I believe the video reflects when he falls, he throws the gun backward under the Dale City Police Unit, James told the Oklahoman. Police have been telling local media that 2 guns and 8 rounds were recovered at the scene, but they have not yet said where exactly they were found, and they have made no mention of whether Mr. Carter was holding one of the recovered guns or not. James also insisted Officer Hogue did not have a racist bone in his body. Quote, anybody who knows Shawn Hogue knows he's not a racist, the attorney said. Quote, these are fabricated statements made by a plaintiff attorney from another state. Now, Carter, 45, survived the shooting, has filed a federal lawsuit against Officer Hogue, claiming he had both hands in the air when he was shot, accusing the cop of having, quote, racial implicit biases, prejudices, and racial discrimination towards African-American individuals, as well as personal animosity against Carter. Quote, Hogue was familiar with Carter from previous encounters in the city of Dale City. Hogue had a negative impression of Carter because of his prior interactions with Carter, states the claim filed by Billy Clark, an attorney based in Texas. Hogue's use of deadly force against a non-confrontational, non-threatening individual is excessive in nature. The violation of Carter's rights and protections afforded him pursuant to the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, end quote. Let's put up the chief. So we got the chief, Lloyd Berger, is the chief of Dale City Police Department, and Vicky Bahina is the DA of Oklahoma City. I mean, their faces just say it all. All right, Sharon. So the reason why Mr. Carter, and I believe Mr. Carter's story, because you don't file a federal lawsuit knowing that the federal lawsuit provides your attorney with subpoena power. And one of those powers will be to disclose the video in which you claim my client had a weapon. If the client had a weapon, the last thing you do is tell on yourself by filing a federal lawsuit.
Duh. I mean,
Right.
that would be my legal response. I mean, duh. I mean, these people are corrupt. They're corrupt. And I don't care what they say, because sometimes in your research from your incredible investigative team at Indisputable Doc, you'll read things that say, well, we're still investigating, and so we cannot release this and that. And then other times you notice how they release that body cam right away to say, gotcha, another thug off the street. And these people, he's gotcha. And every bit of what he said is accurate. Now, if there's anybody out there listening who accidentally stumbled upon this show, I hope you stay. You know why people don't call the police sometimes? Do you know why certain people don't call upon the police? Because it can be worse than not having them there.
That's right. I remember a dear friend and wise brother, Derek Bozeman, said one time on air, one of the greatest talk radio guys in the business. He said, it's getting to a point now where if you call the police, you have to consider that your life and everybody's life around you may change forever. And that may not be the reason you called them. And it's starting to get to that point, Sharon, and it's sad because we pay taxes to have protection, not to have another offense. We're calling because we want you to de-escalate an offense, not create more.